How you can increase your ROAS and your profitability without having to change anything in the ads. That's the topic and the whole content that I broke down last year in Dubai at the Geekout Mastermind from Nick Shackelford. So shout out to you, Nick. Great King Mastermind event. And this is the talk. I broke down a couple of case studies with the exact before and afters of what we changed on the website to improve conversion rates, improve average order value. And I also broke down our conversion rate optimization process and what you need to out for, because there are a couple of mistakes that you need to avoid. So without further ado, let's jump right into it, and I hope you enjoy it.
Amazing. As Nick already told you guys, this is literally my first time ever jumping on stage. So I'm really excited for the topic that I brought today, which is going to be conversion rate optimization and A/B testing. So first things first, who of you guys is already familiar with that? Let me get a quick hand. That looks really good. Okay, amazing. So today, I will show you exactly what it is, break it down for you guys, and then show you how you can use it for your benefit. And I would just quickly start with telling you guys a little bit about myself, my journey, and also the agency that I'm running together with Lars and Jem. And then I'll break down our CRO process that guarantees you guys a 3 to 5% uplift in revenue each and every single month consistently. And after this whole presentation, I want you guys to be able to do 3 things. Firstly, I want you to be able to collect and actually understand the data that you're having about your store. So that secondly, in the next steps, you can take the data and create impactful ideas based on it. And thirdly, I want you to be able to then take those ideas and have a really clear system in order to validate those ideas on your store in order to create a really high converting store that actually makes a lot of sales. So first of all, who am I? I just want to get about this topic really quick so that you guys know who's standing in front of you right now. So for me, everything started when I was 16. I was just buying and reselling limited sneakers like Yeezy Boost, Supreme, Jordans and whatnot. And then also, afterwards, I quickly had my own online store and was selling products in the tech accessories niche. And for me personally, I was always really passionate about human psychology. So really understanding how the mind works. Because I really want to understand how can I influence myself and also motivate myself. And then the next step, also how can I influence the relationships that I have with other people and also motivate them to get certain things done. And one day, I literally ran into Lars, my agency partner right now, and he got me into this whole field of neuromarketing. And it hooked me the first second, because I started applying all those principles like social proof, creating trust, having persuasive copywriting and whatnot to my store. And I just got so addicted to seeing all those results over and over again. And that's literally how Lars and I started our agency. And for the past 3 years, we grew into becoming the go-to agency in Germany for CRO and A/B testing, and also work across all kinds of niches. So whatever you name it, we've done it. Whether it be jewelry, fashion, watches, cosmetics, supplements, health, pets, doesn't matter. But I'm not here to talk about me and my journey, my agency too much. I'm here to provide value for you guys. And I also want to make sure that after this talk, you can do it yourself and really benefit from this talk. So let's not waste any more time and jump right into it. First things first, CRO is often considered in the last step. You will put so much focus on the ads and creators and whatnot. And CRO is then the last step you do in order to increase your revenue. But it shouldn't be. So why shouldn't you guys underestimate CRO? Because it has a compounding effect. So let's say you guys run a brand that does 1 million in sales every month right now. And then every month throughout the year, you manage to get a 4% uplift on that just by CRO and testing. This will literally take you from having a brand that does 1 million in sales per month to doing over 1.5 million in sales per month by the end of the year, just with consistent testing and also without having to increase your ad budgets or spend any dollar in advertising. I want to show you what's really possible. So I brought 3 different brands and case studies and also like breakdowns from them. And with those case studies, I want you guys to understand 2 points. Firstly, the example calculation I just did isn't some kind of wishful thinking from me, but something that you can also realistically achieve. And also, I really want to give you guys our thought process of how we approach A/B testing and also how you guys can take neuromarketing, apply it to your store in order to make more sales with it. So first brand is what I do. These are clients that are actually in the audience right now. So everybody please give it up for Tung and Benny really quickly. Where are you sitting, guys? Give me a quick hand. Like over there, those 2 guys. The past couple of years, these guys have been doing an incredible job in building Wado into an international brand. And with them over the past 3 months, we've been able to increase the conversion rate by over 18%. And now I will show you exactly the before and afters and the test that we run and break down everything that we did. So I tested abroad the before version of the product page that you can see right now. And the section that we changed is this one. And what we did here, we changed the way that the price is displayed. And we also added this little savings badge that is showing exactly like the amount that is being saved for the customer. And the reason why this works so well is price triggers the same area in the brain that pain does. Because we think that we are losing something. So if we can change the way that the price is perceived, we can change the way that you feel about spending your money. And when we tested it, it resulted in a 3.35% uplift in conversion rate. Another test that we did was in the mobile menu. In this case, on the left side you have bundles and sets, and you also have this special offers collection. And these 2 were literally including the same products, but at different price points. And now what you want to do is you want to decrease the confusion that a customer has while interacting with your store. And this whole test is based on cognitive ease and really reducing friction in the customer journey. So what we did here is we took bundles and sets and we took special offers and just put them into one collection. And with these change, when users now open the menu, they don't think too much about where they click and the customer journey is more seamless. Another case study that I brought for you guys right now is TurboTube. And they bumped up their sales by over 33% in the past 2 months. And now you might ask yourself, like, how the fuck can I bump up my sales in like 33% in just like that short amount of time? And the answer to that is quite simple. You just have to understand what works for your store and your target audience and do more of that. So let's say you have a target audience, with them as an example. You have a target audience that really likes scarcity and urgency as a trigger. Then you really want to make sure to use those ones everywhere in your store. And now I will show you how you can do it. So what you can see right here is the product page and a really regular header. And later, what you cannot see is, because I just took the screenshot of the above default, later on the product page, like somewhere down here probably, they have this little section with a scarcity timer that is showing that a sale is going to end soon. But you cannot see this right away in the above default, like in the information that you're picking up in the first seconds. So in this case, you want to make sure that the scarcity timer is like top of mind for the customer the whole time. So what you can do here is like take information that you have like whether on the middle or bottom even of your product page and put it on top if it's like important information like this right now. So what we put in here is, hey you guys, we have a great sale, but it is ending today. And also we put this timer, like it's ending in the next couple of hours, so you better move quick. And this really creates the urge to check out quickly because customers obviously don't want to miss this like $40 discount on the product. And this resulted in a 7.5%, 7.58%. Also, what you want to make sure with your stores is that you have the right price point. So in this case, we just bumped up the price from $79 to $89. And it didn't really affect the conversion rate at all. Like they were still making the same amount of orders, but just increased the AOV and therefore the margin by $10 just like that. So therefore, you can also only focus on AOV, for example, and have the same conversion rate, but you guys are still going to make more money with it. So really finding the sweet spot that your customers are willing to pay is key. What also works really, really well is nudging. Simply because we humans, we like to be patted on the back. So if we've done something right, we also want to feel that way. Because at the end of the day, it's not logic that makes us spend money, it's emotions. So here you can see the before version of the cart drawer. And what we did here is include this little hint that's saying, hey, excellent choice, you put products in the cart right now, have a look at your products now. And this is the hint that what they've just done, putting the products in the cart, was the right decision. And now we're giving them this little pat on the back. Like, bro, you did amazing. And this not only increased sales by over 18%, it also increased the revenue per user by 20 cents. And the last case study that I brought for you guys right now is Geekout Apparel. And they are a streetwear brand in Germany with really limited drops. So just like Supreme New York. And for them, when articles and products sell out, they are gone forever. So here, you can see the product page, you can see the before version. It's like really simple, there's not much on it. And also, there's not really a hint for the customer that the product is really scarce. So what we did here is we took data from the Shopify backend to show the customer how much stock is left. So that users really understand the scarcity of the products. And also, what we did is we took data from the Google Analytics backend to show how many people are on this product page right now. And what this does, these two things, it really beautifully combines FOMO, so fear of missing out, and social proof. So it just takes those two triggers, puts them together, and it drove up sales by over 12%. And also with this, it's really, really, really important that you make sure to take the actual data from the GA reports, the Google Analytics, and not just hard-code it, and not just put a random number in it. Because at the end of the day, you want it to be trustworthy. So you need the actual real-time data, and you need to custom code it if you want to run it. And after seeing FOMO working really well on the product page, we also wanted to make sure that we add FOMO and urgency to the cart drawer. So here again, what we did in the cart drawer is we took the GA real-time data to show the customer how many other people are having this exact product in their cart right now and want to check out. And what this does too, it's adding congruency throughout the customer journey. So you have this information being placed on a product page and you see it as a customer, and then they're also putting this in the cart drawer, and then you as a customer, you're already familiar with it. So you have congruency throughout the customer journey. This is so crucial. And what this does, it bumped up sales by over 60%. And now, to finally drive the point home of why CRO and also a really high converting store is really, really important, not only for the brand owners in this room, and also for the agency owners and the marketers here. Because conversion rate is directly correlated to a lot of your favorite KPIs. So obviously, increasing your conversion rate means that you're going to increase your revenue and profit. And this is great by itself. But you can also increase your ROAS and therefore have a lower cost per acquisition. And this leads to a higher margin for errors for you as a media buyer. And this is really, really underrated. And now let me tell you why. With a higher margin for errors, you can literally fuck up more in the front end. So you can test the shit out of angles and copywriting and creatives in your ads. And one last thing before showing you how you can do it and apply it to your store is I want to make sure that everybody really understands conversion rate optimization and A/B testing correctly. Because there are so many misconceptions about this topic after all. So I brought the 3 biggest misconceptions today. I'm going to clear them for you guys. Firstly, people think that with CRO, you're just going to improve your landing page. And obviously, landing page optimization is a part of CRO, but it misses the point almost entirely because CRO is so much more than that. With CRO, you are literally going to increase every single touch point that a user has in his customer journey with your store. So from the landing page to the menu, to the collection page, product page, cart drawer, checkout process, thank you page, and whatnot. Secondly, a lot of people think that A/B testing means that you're just going to run your A variant for a couple of weeks and then run the optimized version afterwards. But if you would do it like that, with that certain approach, you would have like a lot of external factors fucking up your data, like seasonality or a change in your ad strategy or whatnot. So what A/B testing actually is, it means splitting the traffic that you have every month or even every single day and taking it in half and showing half of the traffic the one variant and half of the traffic the other variant. And with this approach, you really want to make sure that it doesn't matter if you test in June or on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or you're going to change your ad strategy or your positioning or whatever. Because this makes sure that the data, like if you have an uplift or if it's going to change something, is valid. And that is coming from the A/B test. So that the test you did actually increased the conversion rate and not that you optimized your ad strategy or whatnot. And this also makes sure that the result is really, really based on the test. And lastly, people think that with A/B testing, you're just going to increase your conversion rate. And obviously, you can increase your conversion rate. But also, what I've shown you guys earlier in the case studies, it's also about different and other KPIs in your store. Like you can bump up your average order value, you can bump up your revenue per user that you're having, or you can even bump up your customer lifetime value. But it's not only about uplifting certain KPIs, it's also about decreasing certain KPIs. So you can also decrease your bounce rate. You can decrease cart abandonments or checkout abandonments. So with A/B testing, you can literally improve every single KPI that you have on your online store. And now that I got you all hyped up for the topic, let me break it down for you and show you exactly how you guys can do it. So, first step in this whole process is data. Because data is the new oil, and in the next following slides, I will tell you how to get oil rich with your data. So first things first, tools that we're going to be using. You obviously need the correct setup to get the right data. So what you want to be doing is working with a tag management system like Google Tag Manager so that you can make sure that everything is being tracked correctly. So main things that you want to be taking care of are things like user behavior like scroll depth or individual clicks or triggers for tests that you're running. Second tool that you want to be using is Google Analytics. With this, you have a place to store all the data. And when you store the data, you also want to make sure that your data is being cleaned and that the data is being structured, because then you can get valuable insights from it. And this will also later ensure testing success. And this is really a big deal because like 90% of the Google Analytics that we look into are not being set up properly. And for tutorials of how setting up GA and GTM correctly, make sure to check out Measure School on YouTube. I will also make sure to include the link to his channel in the slides for you guys. Last tool that you want to be using is Hotjar. And with this, we not only see what is happening on your store, we also see why it is happening. Because what Hotjar does, it creates these heat maps, click maps, and recordings of how users really interact with your store and where they spend time on the page. And most of you guys are probably already familiar with Hotjar and you know all of this. But there's a certain functionality in Hotjar that most people are not using because they don't really know how. And this one is even more important. It's called customer service. Because understanding your user behavior goes one step further than just seeing where they click and scroll and spend their time on the page. Because what you guys want to be doing is you really want to understand your target audience on a deeper level. You really want to understand their motives, beliefs, pain points, and desires. And there's no better way in understanding that by just asking them. So you're taking out all the guesswork out of it. And what Hotjar enables you to do is these, is these little pop-ups where you can ask them questions. So you can be asking them, why are you on the store today? Which ad did you see that brought you to the store? Do you want to buy a product today? Is there any information missing on this product page that would enable you to buy the product? And all of this. And also, later, I will give you guys a Hotjar cheat sheet with like different questions as a downloadable resource so that you guys know exactly which questions you need to be asking your target audience to get the qualitative data. So now, you guys know how to gather the data. But really understanding and working with it is another thing. And now I'll show you how you can do it. And that's what I brought this example for, and I'm going to break it right now. With the client stakeholder period, they had the assumption that whenever users would get on the landing page, they would just scroll down to find products they like and then buy them. But when we had to look at the Hotjar recordings, the data told a completely different story. So what we would see users doing is not scrolling down, but clicking on the menu and then clicking on either t-shirts, sweatshirts, or the newest drop. And this was also supported by the Google Analytics report. So you can see here that this is literally combining to like 98 to 99% of users that are clicking on these three collections. So what we then did is we took those three collections and put them directly in the above the fold. So it's really easy for the user. And what this does, it reduces the amount of clicks that the user has to take in order to get to the products they want to buy. From 2 clicks, so opening the menu, to just 1 click. And this may seem like the subtle small change, but when you put it live, it bumped up sales by over 16%. So conversion rate optimization is really a lot about creating a seamless customer journey and also enabling them to make a buying decision quickly and also navigate through your store really easy and fast. And now I've showed you how to get the data, how you can use the data, come up with great ideas. But an idea is not yet enough to just go take it and split as something. And here's why. You can have a lot of ideas, but you will never really know if it's a good idea to test or not. And I don't want you guys to just waste your time on changing meaningless things on your store. So what you want to be doing is taking an idea and forming it into a hypothesis. And a hypothesis is always built out of 3 main points: if, then, and because. So in this specific case, if we embed the 3 most clicked collections in the above default, then conversion rate will increase because we expect the users to find the products they like easier and faster. And what this does, it forms an idea into a hypothesis, because you cannot validate ideas, but you can scientifically validate hypotheses. It's called statistics. And that's the whole beauty of this process, because it's making everything really scientific. Because you have an idea, you turn it into a hypothesis, you let it run, you gather the data from your customers, and then you can either validate the hypothesis or you can falsify it. But one hypothesis obviously isn't enough. And the key to successful testing is repeating this process over and over again. So you want to be going through your data, coming up with ideas, turning them into hypotheses, and then have a lot of them afterwards. And now, before taking a hypothesis and just putting tests live, you obviously need a clear roadmap on how to do that. So what you want to be doing is analyzing your hypotheses. And you want to take the testing ideas with the highest possible impact and also the least level of effort to implement and test them first. And what I will be giving you guys as a downloadable resource later too is a prioritization framework. So you can just take your hypotheses, plug them in there, and measure them against 10 distinct KPIs, and it will literally show you which hypotheses are good and also are likely to have a great uplift on your store, and then you can take those and test them. And now, let's talk about putting tests live. The minimum requirement for A/B testing is having at least 1,500 orders every month, because then you have enough data that you can work with. But obviously everybody in this room should have this by now, right? And now, here's the thing. And it kind of hurts me to say this, but at least 80% of people and even A/B testing agencies do at least one out of these 3 mistakes when putting tests live. And I really want to make sure that you know these mistakes and that you also know how to avoid them. First big mistake is ending tests too early. So having a test that run for 3 days and then just pause it and end it. And this leads to insignificant results and also false positives. And this can really hurt you badly, because you think that you have a winning test and then you just end it, implement it on your store, and it will decrease your conversion rate because it was a false positive, so it wasn't actually a winner. So what you want to do is you can just go to Google, type in A/B test calculator, and then click on one of the first 2 results, like A/B test guide or CXL, and they have these calculators for you. And this really seems complex, but it's kind of easy. So you're just putting the data in that you're having. So you're taking the amount of users, the amount of orders, and AOV and all that stuff, and then it will literally tell you how long you need to run the test in order to have significant results. And it will also tell you when you have a winner that you can then implement on your store, and it will actually increase your conversion rate. Second thing is wrong tracking of users, because this obviously leads to wrong results. So example for this would be the test that I showed you guys from Waldo earlier, where we tested the menu. You wouldn't want to include every user there, because not everybody is opening the menu and actually interacting with the menu. So it would be wrong to take the data from all users that you have on the store. So you need to set up the correct trigger in GTM for people that only open the menu, because obviously only them see the test and only their data matters. So obviously here again, correct setup with GTM and GA is highly relevant for having the correct results. And lastly, huge thing, and I also get asked this by a lot of clients, is making changes while tests are live. So let's say we are testing something on the product page and then somebody wants to just create a new layout or a new design or whatnot. This will fuck up your data because then you don't really know where the result is coming from. And how to do better is, when you have a A/B test live, just don't touch your store at all. Just let them run, do their job, and then you have the correct data, and then you can analyze it or work on that. And after all, obviously, having the correct setup plays a huge part in having the correct results and understanding them, because wrong intel is even worse than having no intel at all. And now, what I want you to do, I want to talk about the approach that you should be having for testing. So really like your testing strategy and your testing culture. Your number one priority for testing is gathering actionable insights and learnings about your customers. Because then you can always take them and do better tests in the future that generate even better uplifts and use it for marketing and all that stuff. So really quickly for A/B testing, like there's no losing, because if you run an A/B test, you either make an uplift, generate more money, or you generate a meaningful insight about your target audience. And then you can take this insight and use it for marketing, ads, brand positioning, strategy, and whatnot. So to recap about this whole talk, you know what A/B testing is, you know what to pay attention to, you know how to avoid the biggest mistakes, and also how you can do it yourself and benefit from it. And I want to sum up this whole process in one sentence. Conversion rate optimization is really all about understanding what customers want and then giving it to them. And that's also what we set up this whole process for. So gathering data about what they need and what they want, and then optimizing your store based on that to give them exactly what they want and what they need to buy from you.